And Selena has worked with green burials in several ways. She's the director of Circle Cemetery, which is one of the first national green cemeteries in this country. She arranges and supervises green burial processes, and she cares for the natural burial grave sites at Circle Cemetery. As a death passages counselor and minister, Selena works with the dying and their loved ones in designating and conducting green burial cemeteries and memorial services.
Well, for those of you who've got some Irish in you, top of the morning, even though it's afternoon, and I join all in celebrating with the more inclusive term of Irish Cultural Day. So what I'd like to do is share a little bit about our cemetery project and then do a test drive of my soon-to-manifest on the internet, my green burial planning guide. I wear many hats, as you've just heard, and I find that I've been learning a lot with each green burial that I have been involved with in some way, but I've also been involved with networking at this very event and previous with some other panel members. And I think it's really important that those of us who are really interested in green burial and really want to see it come back as an option, be in touch with each other. Share information and resources. It can be a win-win situation. I do not see that this aspect of the end of life professional processes has to be competitive or win-lose. I actually think it's win-win because as we all work together, we make more choice not only for ourselves and our loved ones, but for others and for the planet as a whole. Circle Cemetery is located within Circle Sanctuary Nature Preserve, which is 200 acres, and we're in southwestern Wisconsin, about 4 miles north of Barneveld and 27 miles west of Madison. Circle Sanctuary, the organization, started in '74, the land project in '83, and the cemetery in '95. Why '95? That's when we paid off the land. And I felt it was very important that we not start putting even cremains on the land until we actually had that title in our hands. Because if you are going to be starting a cemetery, it's important that you not only start it for the near future, but off into the more distant future, not only for those people who are alive, but for those who are yet to come. Because a cemetery, whether those graves are marked or not, becomes a symbol, a focal point, not only in visiting, but in your mind, and having the satisfaction that you have done right by your loved ones who may have requested either their remains be buried or scattered or their bodies be buried in a natural way. It's really important to know that whoever is going to be working that cemetery has the values of not only taking care of it in the here and now, but in the future. Well, I invite you to just take a few moments, close your eyes if you wish, and think of yourself as someone who is descended from a long line of ancestors. And invite you, with your imagination, to go back your various ancestral lines. And as you think about it, natural burial is most likely part of your own ancestral system. And as you open your eyes and you look around, you see the possibilities of us being the ancestors of tomorrow, whether we have children or not. For by talking about green burial, and sharing our expertise and ideas about it, we're laying the groundwork for future generations, so that green burial can be more common. And when you think about humankind's history with burial, more natural burial than the other kind. Cremation, yes, goes back to ancient times as well. And we have both at our cemetery. We started out with being a cemetery with cremations, cremains being interred, first marked by stones. There's an old Celtic word, cairn, little piles of stones. Well, in 2007, the first of the grave markers came in. We were actually in the midst of getting our cemetery expanded so we could do full body burials back in 2005. And then we had to take a little break and do some corrected feedback with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs so that they would put the 5-pointed star in a circle, the pinnacle, on their list of emblems of belief so that veterans could have it on their grave markers. And we have 8 of those U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs pinnacle markers at our cemetery. And as far as I know, I think we're the only green cemetery right now in America that actually has a veteran cemetery with markers. Some green cemeteries allow the indigenous stones to be the markers, and some actually don't want markers at all. But we're about choice, and we endeavor to have a marker option. And for those who aren't veterans, well, we have a local monument company that has some stones that are very similar. So 3 basics that I would like you to take from this talk today, all about green burial planning. 1, consider options. 2, write down your plan. 3, arrange to have it implemented. If you do all 3 of those things, then your quest to have a green burial for yourself or for a loved one is likely to happen. Here are some things for developing your plan. First of all, think about why you want green burial, if you've made that choice. And communicate that with those that are what I will call the after-death body care team, right? Let multiple people know not only of your wish to have green burial, but why. And what's that why business? Well, when the ceremony comes, then those people who may be gathered there that are at what for them is a unique event will have some better understanding. And it also will assure that those who are in your team will implement your plan. So who are people that you might want to have on your team? Most people have someone who has the power of attorney, maybe medical power of attorney, maybe your financial power of attorney as you're in your final stages of life, an executor of your estate. You may have someone, an additional person that may be the person that's actually going to be coordinating the whole thing, touching base. It might be your spouse, it might be some other next of kin. But it's really important, and it's beyond the scope of this presentation right now, to really sort out the legalities regarding what happens to your body after you die. And ideally, arrange this sooner than 2 days before you die. It's much easier on the whole team if the team has gotten together, there are some things written down, everyone knows their roles, and there's a chance to correct it or adapt it as you get closer to death. Loved ones, part of the team, your family, your friends, who do you want there? Who do you want helping? Make a note of that. If you're involved in some form of spirituality or religion,